Hola mi amigos, so today I'm gonna teach you something, but first I need some coffee. So about a year ago, I made this logo for my brand. Now while it's still good and simple and I like it, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Now I'm gonna do that today and I'm gonna show you the process I go through to do it. The things you'll need are a sketchbook, a pencil, and a laptop with Adobe Illustrator on it. Now, the first thing that I like to do is I like to figure out what I need in a logo. So for this one, I know I want music, design, and video to play a part. I also want my main logo, which is the one you saw in the beginning, my location, my website, for funsies, an established date. So what I also know is that I want it to be a badge type logo, right? So I want it to be a circle with the main logo in the middle and then all the text surrounding it shaping that circle. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna start sketching out a rough outline. So I'm gonna start figuring out where the text is gonna go. Now this doesn't have to be perfect, this doesn't have to be the exact type of font that you want, but just kind of to get an idea. So when you put this into the computer, you'll get a good rough idea of what to do. Next, what I like to do is to skip that fancy scanner, grab my phone, and snap a pic. Okay, so now that we got our sketch done and we're ready to import it into Adobe Illustrator, we have to airdrop that picture to ourselves. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Photos, click our photo really quick, click the one that we want, and even though that's a mess, we're gonna airdrop it to ourselves on the computer so we have it to import into the file. Then we're gonna open up Adobe Illustrator, create new, title it what we're gonna work on. Now I'm gonna do 5 by 5 inches because I like to work in a big space. So hit create and we have our artboard. Now what we're gonna do is hit Command-Shift-P and find our picture and hit place and place that in the artboard. Now it's super big, so we're gonna zoom out really quick and scale it down the size by hitting Shift and then dragging your mouse along. So we're gonna center that up. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna lock it by hitting Command-2 on the Mac. Now what we want to do is kind of start building out the circles. So hit the L tool, that'll bring you to the ellipse tool. And so what we want to do is just drag circles and align that. And then hit Command-C, Command-F, and then Shift-Alt and drag that down. And what that does is it duplicates it and then Shift and Alt together kind of make it scale according to the center. So we have 2 circles, one on top of the other. I'm going to take the fills off of those. And we're going to build up the stroke a little bit. Okay, looking good. Now what we want to do is we want to do the same thing, duplicate them. So Command-C, Command-F, Shift-Alt, drag it again, and good. So now that we got the circles done and starting to look a little like something, we're gonna import the logos that I already made that I already want to use. So like my main logo and my icon logo. Now what I wanna do is I'm gonna place those where I want them. Remember to align them. All right, starting to look pretty good. Take this outer ring, Command-C, Command-F, duplicate it, and then Shift-Alt like as usual. And then just drag it up a little bit to there. And we're gonna do this type on path tool. So this is where I wanna put what I do. Back to the type tool, and we're going to grab that, and then we're gonna change the font and upscale it, and you can go up by 10 points by hitting Shift and the arrow key. That's a little too big, so we're gonna dumb it down a little bit. And then now we're gonna go over here to the tracking, upscale that a little bit as well. So we wanna have this to fill out the whole space. And so we're gonna be doing that a lot. Pretty good. Now I just wanna make it be musician on one side, designer on one side, and then videographer on the bottom. So I'm just gonna align that. Okay, see, now we're getting something. We're getting a little more filled out. Now the back layer is kind of annoying me, and I kind of just want to go off of what I'm feeling. So I'm just gonna unlock it by hitting Alt Command 2 and just deleting that. So now you can see it's a little cleaner. It's definitely feeling something. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hit the line tool, and then we're just gonna do 2 lines. And I want them to be the same width as that. So what I did is selected the line, hit I, and then hit one of these lines as well, and it does the exact same width that this is. Duplicate that, hit Alt, kind of drag that down, and what Alt does is it duplicates it, and then just you can drag the same shape from that. And so I just want to kind of position that a little bit to right there. That looks pretty good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hit Command C, Command F, and now it's duplicated on top. And we're going to hit Transform, Reflect, and we want to do vertical because we want to put it over here. And hit OK. All right, now grab that and hit Shift as you drag it. Hold Shift. Now what that does is it keeps it kind of on the same path as the other one. So then there we go. See? Not too shabby. All right, and so I want to put Anchorage and USA in these. So I'm just going to type that out really quick. I don't want it to be so spacey, so I'm going to take down the tracking a little bit to about, there we go, 160 is pretty good. And scale it down just a little bit by hitting Shift and dragging. And we're going to do that, so it kind of rotates it up a little bit. And then we'll do Alt, drag that across, and change it to USA, and rotate it. All right, see, that's looking pretty good. Now what I want to do is I want to work on the corn icon. Get it? Because of Cornfield. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make kind of the same circles. So we're gonna center that together. So now change it to align to selection, center that up. Now it's aligned together. And then to get this, just change it to strokes, just hit Shift X and you're good to go. Now I wanna bring it up a little bit. That's pretty good. And then we're gonna hit Command C, Command F, Shift Alt, always know your hotkeys, and drag that down a little bit. Now what I want to do is I want to erase this part right here. Now what we're going to do is we are going to select those 2 rings, hit Object and hit Expand, and hit OK. And what that does is it makes it a shape. Now we're going to zoom in and hit Shift E for the eraser, make it a little bit bigger by hitting the forward bracket, and just kind of erase where you don't want it. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna group those 2 together, the circles and the icon, and by doing Command G, now what that does is it works as one single unit. Now to unlink those, to ungroup them, you just hit Command Shift G, and now they work separately. So, but we're gonna keep them grouped for now. Now I wanna scale this down a little bit. Go. We're gonna align it to the artboard just so it's centered. All right, see, now we're getting somewhere. All right, so now I want to put the dates on one side. So the established on this side, and then 1989, the year I was born, on this side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna type out ESTD and 1989. We're gonna change it, tracking just a little bit. That's probably good. And then now I like it when the D is kind of a little bit up and then there's like a little line under the D. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit Command Shift O, and that outlines the type. So now you're not working with type anymore, you're working with shapes. So we're gonna zoom in on that, and what I wanna do is ungroup these. So Command Shift G and pick that D, and then pick it up just a hair. And then now to get that line, I just kind of use Type Tool again and hit I. And then we're gonna outline that and drag that down, rotate it, and size it. All right, so now that we have this cool looking established, and we're gonna group that. So now we have established and 1989. I'm gonna outline that. We're gonna drag you know what, those are a little too big. So we're gonna do just a little bit, Shift Alt, drag, and then size down. All right, that's looking pretty good. All right, so now I want like some lines on top and bottom of the established in 1989. First, what we want to do is we want to select both of these by selecting one and then hitting Shift and selecting that one. And I just want to align these two together just so they're even. Now we're going to hit is the line tool again, drag a line by hitting Shift and dragging your mouse and just upping the stroke a little bit. 3 points is too big, so we're gonna do down to 2. Now I hate it that it comes out to a square, right? So I don't want the square. I want it to be kind of rounded at the end. So what you do is you go to stroke and you just hit the cap in the middle, the round cap. So right now you have this sweet looking, good looking line. Select it, hit Alt and Shift and drag that down to the bottom. Hit Shift again, Alt again, and drag that over to established. Now let's zoom out, see what that looks like. It's pretty good. Just realized there's one line that I missed up here, and I want that to be the same. So hit I, and there we go. So, but now I just want my website, www.cornfield.co right here. So we're just gonna type it out by hitting T for the type tool and type it out. Easy peasy, 1, 2, 3Z. Bring it down just a little bit. We're gonna align it so it looks center. And there we go. There's a quick logo. Now, here comes the fun part, the coloring part. Now for this one, I wanna have several different colors, and I already picked out a sweet palette that I found online. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna import those colors into our art board. And so I usually just kind of have them over here so it's a quick selection tool. So now what I wanna do is I wanna colorize everything in here. And so what I want is for these black lines to be gold. So select the gold, copy the hex code, select all of that, don't select the text, and just copy and paste the color. Boom, done. All right, now do the same thing for these bad boys, and just hit the eyedropper tool with I, and then select the outer rings. Perfect, okay, so now we're getting somewhere. What I wanna do is I also want to fill in this blank white space with the color. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select this ring right here, hit Command C, Command F, hit the eyedropper tool, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this color. I think that's pretty good. Now I don't want it to be here or in this little this little outline space right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this one, Command F as well, and then that newly made ring, select the shape that you just made, go to Pathfinder, and then hit this tool right here. So minus is the front. So this outline, this shape, will be taken from the big shape. And boom, done. So now we have some color in our rings. I want to change it up just a little bit. So I want to have the inner circle be a color as well. So do the same thing, Command C, Command F, and I'm going to choose this color, eyedropper tool, and then send it behind that ring. All right, now we're looking pretty good. Now this is the fun part. Now I want to have a separate color in here as well, the anchorage in the USA. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a new layer, go behind layer 1, right? And so what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna paint behind here, but I don't want to get these rings in the way. So go to layer 2, select your ring, send that to layer 2. By hitting arrange, send to current layer. All right, so now that's on layer 2, and what we want to do is we want to paint on top of it. And so what we're going to do is grab this color, select it, hit Shift B, and that's your blob tool. And what we're going to do is we're just going to paint behind it. Now you'll see it looks like we're painting over the lines, but since we're painting on the layer behind it, it goes behind. And do the same thing for this side, and voila. Now, all the text, as I want to change it to that cream color. So we're going to select the text, select everything about the text, and we're going to hit the eyedropper tool and hit that cream color. Okay, so now we're looking good. So same with this one, we're gonna hit the eyedropper tool. Now this stuff, I want all these to be outlined and expanded. So we're gonna do that, fill it, and expand that like we did earlier, and hit the eyedropper tool and hit the gold. All right, and same with this bad boy. Now remember this is group, so it's acting as one shape, and do the same thing. But I think right in between here, I want it to be a different color. I think what I'm gonna do is take this circle that we made, send it to the second layer, and we wanna paint in front of it. And I wanna use it with this color. So, make sure you're painting on the second layer, hit that blob tool, Shift B, and then just start painting. You'll see it just goes straight behind. I love it, it's so satisfying. I wanna get this area too, so we're gonna go a little smaller by hitting the bracket, not that small. Get a little smaller even, and make sure these get covered as well. Now what we could do to kind of spice it up a little bit is we could put just like a quick rounded rectangle. Now it's cream because we just had that selected, and we want to just make it gold. And then I'm going to zoom in, and I'm just going to make some quick lines. I'm going to outline that so it centers properly. Same with this rounded rectangle. So center that up and make sure everything's good. And honestly, I think we're done. Well, that does it for today's video. So it was a very different video. It wasn't a normal adventure video or getting out, but it shows you something I was doing, and I'm really kind of stoked on how it turned out. So if you like these design videos, let me know in the comments below. I might want to start doing them here in the future. I'm not sure, but if you liked it, let me know. Other than that, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you hit subscribe down below, and I'll see you next week.